Hey, this is Anthony with RevZilla TV, where you can watch, decide, and ride. Welcome to our detailed breakdown of the Dainese Druids SST Hardcore Short Cuff Glove, available at RevZilla.com. Now, if we look at it, this is something new from Dainese. They've always done hardcore short cuff sport-oriented gloves. But now what we're seeing from them is they're taking their full-length gauntlets. This is the Druids ST, and they're turning them into short cuff versions, making them available. So there's really a few that we see in the line right now. You know, the baby brother to this would be something like the Carbon Cover SST, and that's gonna be a different flavor. It's gonna have a little less protection on the hand. It's about $50 less. The Druids SST is still sub $200, comes in 4 colors, but is really hardcore sport and aggressive. And the way that I say that, because there's a more refined option around the same price point. You could take a lateral step. If you want something that was less in-your-face sport, if you wanted to go something a little bit less in your face, you go with something like the 4-stroke, which actually, instead of carbon fiber, has a stainless steel knuckle. Very similar setup, different style of pinky, but is, again, it's a little bit less racetrack, and it's much more street aggression. Now, quickly on the fit side of things here for the Druid SST, I'm wearing a size large. It fits me spot on. That's going to be, you know, I'm a large in most American cut brands like an Icon, like a First Gear, but typically if I do mention Alpine Stars, I'm going to be an XL. So I don't find that this glove runs European, but I do find that it has a very, very aggressive pre-shape, much like the Druids ST. Now looking at it, 4 colors available. This is the all black version. And remember, we ship for free, so don't fret if you need to pick one up and you're not sure about the sizing. Use that size chart. Looking at it, cowhide along the back, Kevlar stitching throughout, big area of carbon fiber on the knuckle. It's coated, almost has a rubberized feel to it, and you get that in the back of the hand. And notice the way that it's raised. It's seated within an area of foam, so it's going to give you that comfort factor. And again, cowhide throughout. Moving back from the cuff to the fingers, and you'd see this if you're looking at that carbon cover, you would not get you'd not get this area on the back of the hand. That's one of the key differences. Moving into the fingers, elastication, more elastication for this year. This glove's now CE rated as well when they went to the ST versions over the old Druids. Dots of carbon fiber sliders, dual layers of leather in the finger, moving your way up. And then on the outside, on the pinky, what they've done differently here is, notice that we have a carbon fiber pinky slider, but then you have that distortion control process, that piece here, the DCP on the outside of that knuckle to guard against low side crashes and little finger dislocations. But they have done the pinky's finger a little bit different here on the Druids. And you could, if you compare and contrast it with something like that 4-stroke, it has a different feel to it. Now, as they move it around, you're going to see areas of dense temper foam, areas of elastication, and areas of microelastication. The microelastication is nice because you can put it on an area that's impact prone. It's not introducing a ton of new seams. I like the wrist strap on this. It's a short cuff glove, very aggressive. In my opinion, these gloves are so overkill for the street, but they look so badass, you just can't get away from them. Notice EVA temper foam that's going to be raised here, ball of the thumb, and then you have your raised slider here on the heel of the hand that wraps around laterally. That creates a little bit of an air gap right there, and again gives you that wrist protection, that scaphoid protection. If you go down like that, it's going to give you a better chance of not breaking those bones. Moving into your palm, now you're into goat skin, and notice really aggressive pre-shape here. You have your suede control patch panel, areas of microelastication for movement. You have, I always call this the Dainese tickler, but again, on your control areas, it's going to give you better tactile response from your throttle, from your grips. You're going to feel a little bit more of the bike, and they do that on their higher end gloves like the Pro Metal RS. You see it here on the Druids. You don't get that at the lower end. And there's no real low end with Dainese, but you know what I mean. The more entry level or less functional gloves that are a little bit more of an investment, a little bit less of an investment. I have called it out in the past that I like their new style of slider. It's less obtrusive, seated within a single panel of leather that wraps its way all the way up, ties in with that DCP, and then goes all the way into the little finger. Most common crash on a motorcycle is going to be a low side crash. Getting a single seamless area on the outside that wraps all the way around is the best way to not have a seam open up, because there's no seam to open up. Bravo Dainese, you're doing the right things when you're thinking about developing these gloves to be all-encompassing and crash protective. You can even see how it stretches into the areas of secondary leather wrapping into the fingers. Remember, 4 colors. This is the black, white in the Druids SST. There's also that full Druids gauntlet. I'd love for you to subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. Click right here, subscribe, leave us your comments, your questions if you're currently rocking a Druids, or if you want to compare and contrast it, which ones you like better, the Druids or the 4-stroke. Remember, they're the same level of investment, but they have a little bit of different personality across both of them. The next step in your journey, if you're serious about a pair of Druids SSTs, is to click right here, read rider reviews at RevZilla.com. Remember, use me as a starting point, but you don't have to take my word for it. Remember, we're going to ship for free, and as always, see us at RevZilla.com or 877-792-95 1455. Thanks for watching our detailed breakdown. I'm Anthony. We'll see you next time.